we are going to be heading into our next game on Buster Beach, which we haven't seen this stage yet, but this is quite a fun one. It is one of the few asynchronous stages in this game. One player kind of starts out a back wall and the other setting up nice and close to what is popularly known as the hot pocket. And what we mean by that is once you are in, you are having a hot time because there is a very small amount of room for you to move around and breathe in. Which means that the opponent with the advantage, not locked into that hot pocket, has a lot of room to be able to position. Not only that, but they've got that high ground to just make it that much more difficult. On top of that, you see how the grabs work. Normally, when you get grabbed, you get pushed out of a corner. But the way the hot pocket is designed is one of the few locations that does not happen. So what do you do when you get stuck in the hot pocket? You die. You get burned to a crisp and get taken out cleanly. So there's a lot of game plan. There are players that actually can take advantage of being in the hot pocket, and it is a phenomenal thing to see. But there's a lot of players that if they start on the hot pocket side, their game plan is, no, I'm not. Please get me out of here. As they will scurry out as quick as possible. But good positioning, like what we're seeing from AstroNinja, while he's not really put in a place to be able to capitalize on knocking Table into the hot pocket, he's pretty much just saying, no, you're going to be around that area from here on, and you're going to be suffering. Out comes this rush. Table not going to be able to block it in time. He's knocked into critical position. And now that Astro is only looking for a couple hits more, just a single nade will be enough. He's like, I'm fine moving into the hot pocket area. You're not confident enough to pressure me anymore. Heading into our next round, it is going to be Astro looming in the hot pocket. Table trying to push him in, lock him there. These nades are applying a lot of scary pressure as Astro is building up rushes, or his rush meter, looking to have a powerful get out of jail free card. If Table is not able to respond to it, a good 1-2 punch is going to weaken that shield. Table throwing out his rush just to try to keep Astro in that pocket and give his arm some time to recover. Out comes a counter rush. Table not able to pull out the guard in time. And that is going to be Astro's opportunity to kind of get a little bit more room, pushing Table back. And I think he's pretty much done with this hot pocket now. I think it's actually Table's turn to be in there. If he cannot find a way out of this situation, Astro back into a very dominant stage. We do get a hit, but it's not going to be enough. Table will be taken down, and Astro claiming the first game in this first, or best of 5. That is the other problem here too, and while we didn't bring it up in the match, it's definitely worth bringing up and mentioning. Japan has Buster Beach. Japan is typically known in the ARMS community as a scene that's very open to a lot of stages, a lot of like experimentation and playing around. They banned Buster Beach, and you want to know why? They believe that Buster Beach is the best stage for brass. And that is specifically because of one player, their best player of all time, their literal GOAT, Pega, was so good on that stage that nobody ever wants to play him on there. And it's led to a long history, a long record that kind of rings true in a lot of situations where players even in North America, we kind of see that whenever a brass goes there, it's just a very strong stage for max brass. That said, that could be said about any kind of environment where brass gets to put you in a corner and he gets to be beefy. Which, I don't know if you've heard of this, but that's all of the stages in the game. The only one I don't think can qualify is Snake Park. And even, Brass could do that in Snake Park too if he was determined enough. we are seeing right now just how oppressive and powerful Brass can be when he has advantage. When he's got the double nades, typically most arms are going to struggle against Swintel because of Actress Aura. But the classic fix to that problem is it's really hard to learn how to counter explosive weapons. I know how to do it and I'm fairly confident, but I also recognize that I'm an exception and not a rule. It is a nightmare to time explosions, especially when you're dealing with that many explosions in 2 seconds. How are you supposed to time your blocks in that? How are you supposed to time your blocks there? See, the thing with Brass is he's not very encouraging to play against, especially when he screams at you after the game. Dude is made for BM. There's a couple of characters in this game that actually have some pretty saucy BM. It's pretty entertaining. Pretty entertaining as a spectator. As a player, when you're tilted, it is the most frustrating thing to hear Brass just yell, "You lose." Like, the guy just goes up to his mic, he's like, "You lose!" And just causes some ear damage along with the emotional damage. Coil's also a bit of a bully. She do be like that. We're going to be heading into our next stage, Temple Grounds, which might be the last game of this semi-final bout. Astro currently at 2 points as MrTable is looking for just a single point to get on the board. Astro's just one of those players. He is, as I said before, like, sometimes it's enough of a feat just to get a single round off of him. Very few players can confidently say in a genuine competitive setting that they have taken a set or even a match off of him in like an earnest, true competitive setting where something's on the line. Granted, a chunk of that is because there's not many of those around anymore, so there's not much in the line, so you don't even get that opportunity to kind of gloat in that way. But you know, it's all fine and dandy. Tried to finish Brass off, but Astro able to just perfectly get that chip to go into enraged state. Tried to go for a rush of his own, but Table was able to safely sweep out of the way. But now we're in a very tricky place for MrTable where, look how big he is! That is all armor. That 250 health that Brass has, unless Table lands a grab or follows up off of an ice hit, Max Brass essentially has double health. He just gained an extra 250 health, and that 250 health, he doesn't flinch from attacks. So he's just safe to power through so many situations, and it becomes incredibly difficult for the opponent to respond. So a lot of players have the game plan of trying to counter with, like, saving the rush until the final bit. Or if they use the rush like this, they try to build it up before the final bits. But when you take half your health at the start of the game, that can be a little difficult to do. Excellent chain of damage. Looking for another ice chain here. You saw MrTable just kind of go in. Chilla freezing. Astro's knocked into just above 25% health. He's trying to bait Astro into doing some kind of chip damage to him. He's got the rush ready as well, so he could potentially go for a shield breaker and just close Table's game off. Plays it a little more patiently. Going to even dodge out of the way, just holding onto his ground so well. Takes a quick blast, does not get the rush opportunity. We do get the freeze. Table can't go for something because the rush was there. Astro will safely escape the ice chain. MrTable does not get punished by the rush though, but he is at critical health with a weakened shield. There's only so much more damage he can take. There's only so much more Astro can take as well. Try to play it safe until the 15 seconds, but AstroNinja will be able to secure one last knockout and will be advancing 3-0. Another phenomenal game as I pause and I need to drink some water because I have been talking straight for the past hour. Just one moment.